Everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 10 of Angular CLI. In this video, we'll discuss how to generate services using the Angular CLI. Generating services is similar to generating components. So before going through this part 10, please visit my part 9 of Angular CLI tutorial, that is steps to generate component in Angular CLI. So in this video, what we will discuss, that is what is services in Angular CLI, generate and register services in Angular CLI, and know about different flag with services generation. Okay, so in this video we'll discuss how to generate a service. So before, I have make a video about how to generate a component. For that, we need to use one command called ng-generate component name. The same we'll do here for generating a service. So generating a service, this command will be ng-generate service name. So I'll use one command here, that is ng-generate service and service name. Alright, so after then I click enter. So it will generate a service with name customer service, and using the Visual Studio Code, I'll show you what are the files has been created during creation of service. So here you can see that my customer service has been created under the app folder. There is two files has been created, customer.service.spec.ts and customer.service.ts. So I'll go to my Visual Studio Code here, and you can see that there are two files has been created. One is customer.service.spec.ts. it is the spec file, and it is import its service name, and another one is customer.service.ts file. This one, the another service related files has been created. So this command will generate a service and the spec file, but what it does not do is register the service. So remember, to be able to use the service, we must register the service in our Angular application. So to register our service, we do it manually after creating the service. So we can tell the Angular CLI to register our service in the app.module.ts file. Alright, so I'll go to my code, Visual Studio Code here, and inside app.module.ts I need to register my service here. For that, I need to import this service inside the app.module.ts. So for that, I just copy this for the customer service, then I'll go to my app.module.ts file, and after then I just paste here. Alright, and second one is we need to add this customer service inside the provider array. So second step is, inside the providers array already one service is added, so I want to add another service is called customer service. So I just put here comma and another service name. Alright, so after then I just save it. So to register service, we need to import the service name, that is import customer service from this path, and need to add this customer service inside the providers array. That means we have done our registering the service in the app.module.ts file. Alright, so another one is, I'll go to my command prompt here. So next one is, we can also use the dry run flag, or it alias called -d, to see what Angular CLI generates. So I'll show you -d by putting here. So this is the dry run flag. So here what it does, okay, I mean this service has been created with this name, so we need to change the service name here. So the service name will be employee1 and -d. So what this dry run flag, you can mention here dash dry and -run Alright, or you can mention here only single dash D. So we'll see what this command will do for us. This flag will do for us. After then I click enter here. So here we can see that in the following command we are using the dry run flag option. So the Angular CLI simply report these files it is going to generate, but it is not actually generating the service. So see here, if we'll run this command without dry run flag, then this service related files will be created. But here I use this dry run flag, but it will not generate actually these files inside Visual Studio Code or my Angular project. Okay, so that's why in the notes section it is mentioned the dry run flag means no changes were made. So if I'll go to my Visual Studio Code, here you can see that employee1.service not created actually. Employee1.service.spec.ts or employee1.service.ts not created. Alright. So next one is next command I'll show you what it is. So next one is I want to skip the test files. Alright. So for that I use another flag called dash dash skip dash tests equal to false. So in the previous command it generates the service and the spec file, but if I don't want to use the generate the spec files or test related files, simply set dash dash skip dash test equal to false. So I'll go here, I'll just press enter. So here guys you can see here in the dry run flag it is I mentioned dry run flag, another one is keep tests equal to false. That means if I'll generate this service, then this will not generating this test files and spec files. That's why it is showing that these files will not be created when we generate this, when we use this command. Alright, so if I'll remove this dry run flag, so and if I'll execute this command, then these two files will be skipped. That means the test related files I don't want, right? For that I mentioned this flag options here. And the last one is dash dash flat equal to false and press enter. I'll show you what are the uses of flat options here. So Angular CLI by default creates a folder for the component or the service and places all these component files in that folder. A service on the other hand will not have its own folder, right? So here you can previous command you can see when I generate this customer service, the service is by default placed inside the app folder, not its another folder. But I want what I want the service will be put inside the customer folder instead of app folder directly. So here when I have used this dash dash flat equal to false, you can see there is two files will be created, and these two files, that is employee1.service.spec.ts and employee1.service.ts, these files will be placed inside the employee1 folder instead of app folder. Alright, so a service on the other hand will not have its own folder. So if you want a folder of its own for a service that the Angular CLI is generating, set dash dash flat option to false as you see here. Alright, so I'll show you by removing dry run flag. So I just remove this dry run flag and I want these folders, this service will be generated in the inside the employee1 folder instead of app folder. So ng generate service employee1 dash dash flat equal to false. After then I have clicked enter. So this service will be generated inside the employee1 folder instead of app folder. So I'll show you inside the Visual Studio Code once these files will be created successfully in the command prompt. See here, my files has been created, that is employee1.service.spec.ts, employee1.service.ts. So it is inside the employee1 folder, not inside the app.app folder. So if I'll go to Visual Studio Code here, so guys, you can see inside the app folder there is another folder called employee1 folder, and inside employee1 folder my service has been generated and for that two files has been created, employee1.service.spec.ts and employee1.service.ts inside the employee1 folder. Okay, so that's all related command regarding on generating service and its flags options. And I'll go to my presentations here. So what is services in Angular CLI? Angular services are singleton objects that get instantiated only during the lifetime of an application, and the main objective of a service is to use, organize and share business logic, models or data and functions with different components of an Angular application. An Angular service is a stateless object and provides some more very useful functions. These functions can be invoked from any components of Angular like controllers, directives, etc. So to generate a service and register a service, what are the commands will be consumed? So for generating ng generate service name, and to register a service we can do it manually by adding import statement of service name in app.module.ts file. We need to add the import section, import customer service from the path, and make this service name as part of the providers array by putting its service name, that is customer service, inside providers array. So we have this service registered with the root injector is available throughout our Angular application. So what are the different flags with services generation? So number one is dash dash flat equal to false. So it will create a folder of its own for a service without placed all the services in app folder. So instead of default folder, that is app folder, it will create a folder of its own for a service. And dash dash dry and dash run flag means it reports this file and folders that will be generated without actually generating them. And dash dash keep dash tests equal to false, so it will not create the spec file and test files for the new service. This is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it to get the up-to-date knowledge on .NET, .NET Core, MVC, C#, SQL Server, DevOps, GitHub and Angular. So in this part 10 of Angular CLI, what we have described. So what is services in Angular CLI, generate and register service in Angular CLI using app.module.ts file, and what are the different flag options with service generation. That's all about guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.